Hiya.
Hi.
So your client called Wall Inc. is a drywall manufacturer, right? They're worrying about a higher competition due to the entrance of a new competitor. So the competitor is supposed to be a low price company. And because of that, Wall Inc., our client, is thinking about reducing their prices by 20%. So the client wants you to evaluate this plan.
hmm I think that's pretty clear. So let me just recap the situation. Um, a competitor is entering the drywall market, and our client is afraid of their low price strategy. Now,
Correct.
the plan is to reduce our price in order to stay competitive, and our task is to evaluate whether they should do it or not.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Well, after I've thought about this, I would approach the problem in the following way. First, I'd like to understand our clients, so what are our products and who are our customers.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the next step, I want to have a look at the client situation in the overall market
Mm-hmm.
and have a look at the competitors. And then finally, I want to have a real close look at the new competitor and for their product and their customers. Then we should be finally able to evaluate if the competitor is really a threat and if a price cut is the right response.
All right. Okay. So I like your structure. So I'm sharing with you the structure. I think we agree with the structure. So let's follow this line of thought. And first thing I would like you to answer to me is, what are the impacts of a 20% price reduction then?
Oh, okay. So when you talk about impact, you mean the impact on the company?
Exactly. So focus on the financial aspect. What information do you need to assess the financial impact on the company, on the client, if they reduce by 20% the price?
Well, if you're talking financially, for me, of course, the impact on the profit seems to be the most interesting fact.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need for that is the revenue and the current costs and the current situation, and then of course we have a look at the same values after the price cut.
All right. Okay. So I'm sharing with you then revenue and costs. So you can see now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. The table shows the current amount sold and the price and the costs per product.
Correct.
So what I see here is to get the absolute amounts, we just have to multiply all by the amount sold, so 100,000,
Mm-hmm.
and this will get us a revenue of 10 times 100,000 is 1 million,
Mm-hmm.
variable cost of 400,000, and fixed cost of 300,000. So overall, this leads to a current profit of 300,000.
That's correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to answer the question, the impact of the price cut, and then we have to change certain numbers. I mean, clearly, the price per product will decrease by 20%, so from 10 to $8. And I assume variable and fixed costs will stay the same. I mean,
You can assume that, yeah.
should have no effect.
Mm-hmm.
However, the amount sold should also increase.
Why?
Well, I mean, because if the prices are cheaper, people will just buy more. I mean, that's if we assume that's kind of a
Okay.
regular good.
Is there any ways? Is there a way this assumption could be wrong, or? Well, that's an assumption, right?
Yeah,
It's not an assertion. You're not really sure about that. How could it be wrong? Can you think of
I mean,
reasons why?
I mean, we're doing this because our competitor has low prices. So, if we say our competitor has even lower prices than our new $8, I mean, our customers will leave us regardless of our price cut because
Mhm.
they're going to be a competitor. So, I mean, we can take that into account. So we need some. What interesting would be to know the price of the competitor and also price elasticity of an average customer of us. Do we have this information?
Not really. So just assume that the amount will stay the same.
Okay.
Even with lower prices.
Okay. Great. Then if the amount stays the same and the price will decrease by 20%, our revenue will as well. So instead of 1 million, we have $800,000 in revenue, and costs are going to stay the same. So the 700,000, and overall this gives us a new profit of 100,000.
Okay, so the other option we have is to not decrease the price, right? To keep it the same. So how much volume can we lose? Can we afford to lose? Maximum, in a maximum worst case, so that our competitor, to lose to our competitor, so that this solution, this option, is still better than cutting the price. So how much can we lose in volume?
Okay.
Can you calculate that?
Yeah, sure. So this is the option just to do nothing.
Keep prices the same, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
We keep prices the same, and of course costs as well. So to answer the question, we need to know the number of products that we have to sell, and that will give us the profit of 100,000. So to have the same situation as the
correct.
Well, let me just draw an equation here, and what I did is, well, we have the revenue of $10 times X, which is the amount of products. Then we have to deduct the variable costs, which is $4 times X again, and then we have fixed costs. And well, fixed costs need to stay the same regardless of the amount sold. And previously we have the fixed cost of 300,000, and they should stay the same. So we have to deduct 300,000, and that equals 100,000. Okay. Now, if we solve that equation for X, we get 66,666. So let's say 66,000. And let me turn this around and just say, if we lose 33,000 products or less, not decreasing the price is the better option.
Okay. Good. So what else would you need to know for a final conclusion?
Okay. So most importantly, I want to check what impact the new competitor has on our volume and on these, if it's less or more than 33,000. So from what I have found so far, the question of decreasing the price depends very much on the amount of volume we would lose otherwise. So do we have some expectations on the volume of the new competitor, and how much will they steal from us or from our competitors?
No, but we should be able to estimate that. So what would you need to estimate those numbers?
We could use the size of the current firms
Correct.
to estimate volumes.
Good. So we have almost what you need, which is the market shares of the competitors, current competitors. So it's an indicator of size of the competitors. I'm just sharing. You can see now.
Okay. Interesting. Let me just look at this. Okay.
What can you conclude out of it?
What pops into my eye, we have 3 big market players, and of which we are one, and so our client is one of them, and 20 others with an average market share of, let's say, about 3%. And are the market shares here measured in revenue or volume sold?
That's the market share of the number of drywall products, so number of products,
And
so you can also assume the new competitor will be one of the small ones.
Okay.
So one of the 20 other players.
Yeah, that seems logical. As I mean, in the short run, when they enter the market. So.
What can you conclude then? You
Well,
can imagine that the small players are evenly distributed.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, thinking about the volume our competitor gets. Well, we have 10% of the market and say a sales of 100,000 products. So the overall market should be 1 million products, around that. So if our new competitor will be one of the small players and has about 3%, he should sell 30,000 products at the beginning. So this seems dangerous. However, I just assume that they will probably not steal all the 30,000 products from us, but also from our competitors. And let's say it's just evenly as the market shares are right now.
Okay.
So they will steal 10% of the 30,000 from us. So this is about 3,000 products, volume, whatever you're talking about. And I mean, from this point, it is clear that the competitor will no threat at all at the beginning to us. So,
okay.
I mean, but more interesting is the development in the future. I mean, you just assume 3% in the market at the beginning. So closely related to that is the question about the price. How is he able to offer lower prices than the others? I mean, does he have any cost advantages, or how does that occur?
Well, do you think they have cost advantages if they're so small? Do you think there's any economies of scale?
I don't think that, no, but maybe they have invented new ways of production.
No, so they don't have cost advantages over us.
Okay, so they have the same costs. I mean,
maybe even worse.
Okay.
Higher than ours, yeah.
Okay, so what I conclude is that our competitor probably tries to enter the market with dumping prices and in order to receive a high market share quickly.
Is that going to be possible? Will they be able to do that?
Well, I mean, that depends on the customers after all. If they're very price sensitive, they will move to the competitor pretty quickly. So, do we know anything about it?
So, they're not really price sensitive, our customers, because they are very loyal to our brand.
Okay. So, they're pretty loyal to us, and
pretty much, yes.
And again, prices, are we more expensive, or
we are, yes, we are more expensive.
Okay, so we are more expensive and nevertheless have a pretty high market share here. So I conclude that our customers are very loyal. So if there's a cheaper competitor, our customers will probably not care because there are a lot of cheaper ones in the market right now.
Okay.
So they would have gone to them if they cared. So
makes sense. Okay, so guess you already learned a lot about the problem. Would you be able to give a recommendation already? Close the case?
Yeah, I mean, okay, then just give me just a second. Okay, so at this point and right now, I would not recommend a price change, and there are two main reasons for that. First, the competitor is very small right now and will be no danger to our market share. And in the long run, the competitor might grow, but will take the market share of the small competitors rather than ours, since our customers are more interested in brand and price. And there's one thing I would have a look at, and that is if maybe all our competitors start reacting by decreasing their prices, just as we thought.
Okay.
Then we also might have a look at that, because that's, I mean, if all decrease their prices but us, that seems to be a problem.
Cool. Well, very good. Good job. Thank you.
Great.